Researching the law is unlike anything you will ever do. The methods and tools lawyers and paralegals use to research legal cases and statutes are unique to the field of law. In this video, we will focus on one of those tools, the Maryland Digest. The Maryland Digest is a collection of brief case summaries, sometimes called annotations, that are categorized by topic. They are used by legal researchers to find relevant cases on a particular topic. Similar to an encyclopedia, the Digest has multiple topic volumes and a multi-volume index. In addition, the Digest also has a multi-volume table of cases and a multi-volume set called Words and Phrases. To learn how to use the Digest, we are going to start with a hypothetical. You meet with a client who has a question regarding the amount of a security deposit a landlord may retain from a tenant in Maryland. We'll use the first type of approach to using the Digest, called the descriptive word approach. This research method allows you to search keywords in a comprehensive index. Each digest has a multi-volume index to the entire set. This approach is used when you are unfamiliar with the specific topics you need to research. To start your research, you would go to the descriptive word index of the digest and look up the phrase security deposit. You notice there is no entry for security deposits, so now you need to come up with other descriptive words or phrases to research. A suggestion would be to try more general terms, such as leases, since security deposit provisions are contained within a lease. Under leases, you see an entry for landlord and tenant generally, but nothing for security deposits. The Digest uses internal cross-referencing in the index to aid you in finding the correct topic to research under. Using the internal cross-referencing, you would go to the landlord-tenant section of the index, and reading through the entries, you find an entry for security. Under landlord-tenant security, you find an entry for deposits. Land and 10, key 184, parentheses, 0.5-2, close parentheses. Land and 10 is the Digest abbreviation for the topic landlord and tenant. Key 184, parentheses, 0.5-2 means key number 184.5 through 184.2 under the topic landlord and tenant. If you are uncertain of what a specific topic abbreviation means from the index, all of the topic abbreviations are listed in the front of each Digest book. Once you have a topic and a key number, go to the Digest volume that contains the subject landlord-tenant. The topic landlord-tenant comes between labor and employment and larceny, which is in volume 27A. Under the topic and key number guides at the top of each page, you turn to the page under landlord-tenant that starts with key number 184. Now go to key 184.5 through key 184.2 and scan through the entries reading the case headnotes on security deposits to see if there is a case on your client's question. Notice that the first cases listed under each number are from D.C. You can tell this because of the notation D.C. prior to the date. If there were any federal cases on this issue from the federal courts, those cases would be listed first before the D.C. cases. Reading further down the page, you see Maryland cases. You would know this because of the abbreviation MDAPP or MD in front of the cases. The abbreviation MDAPP refers to the Maryland Court of Special Appeals, and the abbreviation MD refers to the Maryland Court of Appeals. We find a headnote for a case from the Maryland Court of Special Appeals from 1993 entitled Kamer v. Lupinacci, 623 A.2d 726. Tenants were fully entitled to judgment in action alleging that landlord collected excessive security deposit in light of evidence that monthly rent was $900 and deposit of $2,700 was collected. If you then pull volume 623 of the Atlantic Reporter's second series and turn to page 726, you find the complete Kamer case. Now let's try our research on security deposits using the title topic approach. To use this approach, you need to be familiar with the topics of the digest. This research approach allows you to search through the table of contents of a specific volume, also known as a title or topic, of the digest. This topic approach is used when you are familiar with the subject area and just need a little assistance to find the right section. Using the title topic approach, you would bypass the descriptive word index and go directly to the volume containing the topic landlord-tenant, which is volume 27A. Using volume 27A, you would first go to the table of contents for the topic of landlord-tenant. Notice there is an outline of the major subtopics for landlord-tenant with a range of key numbers for the major subtopics. After the major outline, there is a more detailed outline breaking down the major subtopics into more specific sections and assigning an individual key number to each. Section 8 of the major outline covers rent and advances, with key numbers 181 through 274. A security deposit is an advance under a lease. We would start with this major subtopic first in the detailed outline. Scanning the detailed outline under Section 8 and key numbers 181 through 274, we see that key number 184 is listed as deposits and other security by the tenant. As with the descriptive word approach, we would then go to the page with key number 184 to review the case headnotes. Table of Cases approach. Using the Table of Cases volume of a digest set, you can look up a case by party name, and it will list all of the topics and key numbers where the case is listed in the digest. Going to those listed topics and key numbers will provide you with additional similar cases. This research method is used when you have a good case on your issue and you want to use it to find additional cases. When you have the name of a specific case on your issue and want to know where the case is listed in the digest, you can look up the case in the table of cases for the digest. The table is arranged alphabetically by both plaintiff name and defendant name, so you can look up either name. Remember the case we found using the descriptive word approach of Kammer versus Lupinacci? Let's see if this case is also listed under other topics and key numbers of the digest using the Table of Cases approach. Using the guides at the top of the page, go to the page where you would find cases with CAME as the starting letters of the plaintiff's name. The Kammer case would be found here alphabetically. Looking alphabetically, we find the Kammer case listed right after a case named Camelback Ski. Listed here is the citation to Kammer, confirming you have the right case, and all of the topics and key numbers where Kammer is listed in the digest. The Kammer case is only found under landlord and tenant key number 184. To illustrate a case that is found in multiple digest topics, we can look at the prior case entry, Camelback Ski. The Camelback case is found in 3 separate topics: appeals and errors, constitutional law, and courts. Cases can have one or more topics and key numbers depending upon the issues of law in the case. Finally, we have the case-on-point research approach. When you already have a good case but want to find more cases, you can use the case-on-point approach. The case-on-point research method can only be used with Westlaw. Westlaw cases have headnotes, similar to the digest summaries, with the corresponding key numbers and topics from West's digest collection. Using a case from Westlaw, you can immediately go to the specific topics and key numbers listed in the West headnotes from the case. Using Westlaw's version of the case, the topic and key numbers are already listed for you. You can go immediately to the appropriate volume, topic, and key number to see if there are other cases listed to support your argument from Kammer. Now that you have found the Kammer case, your job is not done. The copyright date on volume 27A is 2004, so there are no cases decided after this date in the main digest volume. You need to check the digest pocket part and cumulative supplement to see if there are any more recent cases. The pocket part, called this because it is a floppy supplement found in the back pocket of the book it updates, contains any new cases published from 2004 to the date on the pocket part. The pocket part only contains entries for new cases. If your topic and/or key number is not listed in it, there are no new cases. There is no key 184 listed under landlord and tenant, so there are no new cases. If there is no pocket part, Double-check the copyright date of the hardbound volume. If it is within the last year, there will not be a pocket part. If it is more than a year old, check for the softbound cumulative supplement on the shelf next to it, or ask a reference librarian for assistance. As with the digest and the pocket part, the cumulative supplement covers the time period between the pocket parts being published. Simply check your topic and key number here for any cases through the date on the supplement. The supplement, published multiple times during the year, further updates the annual pocket parts. In addition to using the 4 research methods, another method to research the digest is using the words and phrases volume of the digest. The words and phrases volume lists terms from the cases in the digest that have been judicially interpreted by the courts. So using this set, we can look up the term security deposit to find Maryland cases interpreting this phrase. We go to the last volume of this set with words starting with the letter P to the end of the alphabet. When we look up security deposit, we find no entry. Before assuming we are done with this term, we should always try looking up variations on our initial search term. So now we will look up just the word deposit. Go to the volume covering words starting with D and look up the word deposit. Here we find a case from the federal courts from 1951 determining that 3 prepayments of rent was not a security deposit. If this case was relevant to our client's situation, we could then download it from Westlaw or Lexis. Like the main topics in the digest, each volume of words and phrases also has a pocket part you should check for any recent cases. If we check for deposits in the pocket part, we find no further entries. To be completely thorough in our research, we would also go back and check the pocket part under the P to End volume for the phrase security deposits. And there we would have also found no additional entries. In this video, we have covered what the Maryland Digest is, how to find cases in the digest using the main research approaches, the descriptive word approach, the title topic approach, the table of cases approach, and the case on point approach, how to use words and phrases. Finally, we reviewed how to use pocket parts and supplements to update your research. Now that you have learned how to use the Maryland Digest, hopefully you will find this collection a useful tool in researching Maryland cases.